Hello, hello, and welcome back to In Case of Emergency. I didn't almost get that name wrong. You can shut up. It's fine. Anyway, we're checking out The Thing with Wes, best boy. We all can agree on this. Anyway, Wes slides into the cellar behind you. There's barely any light coming in through a crack of the closed trapdoor. You can make out the outline of a tall cabinet on one end, and as your eyes adjust, you see that the walls are lined with barrels upon barrels of wine. This is the place. Look! Wes examines a row of upright casks? Casks. Okay. And bottles set apart from each other. A small wooden plate with the words "Toxic, do not touch" written on it hangs in front. Next to the collection, it is a crate of herbs with long dried stems, clusters of small white flowers on one end, and thin yellow roots on the other. Is this hemlock? Oh, I'm not sure. Remus would know. You pocket some of the plants. We should take some of the bottles, too. You reach for one of the dark bottles and grab it by the stem, but the glass is more slippery than you expected. The bottle smashes against the ground. Shit! You can faintly make out yelling upstairs. Footsteps are stomping your way. Hi! Wes hisses through his teeth. He looks around and pulls you by the hand towards the cabinet, wrenching it open and squeezing the two of you inside. It's barely big enough to stand in, and Wes has to hunch to fit. You can feel his breath tickle your ears in the darkness. Just in time, the trapdoor opens with a bang, and a voice comes from above. I know I heard something! It's probably nothing. And just to be clear, I'm not going down there no matter what kind of vintage cask you have in your niche. These are words. These are a lot of words. There's no response. Warmth radiates from Wes's body. He can't be more than a foot away from you. All you'd have to do is reach out, and the trapdoor slams shut, and the footsteps and voices begin to retreat. Let me reduce the sound of the game a little bit. That's a little loud, isn't it? After a beat, Wes laughs quietly in relief, his voice husky as he whispers, Holy shit. Let's get out of here before they come back. You can feel more than, see Wes nod in assent. Your own heart is still pounding. Right. Neither of you move. You're still frozen in the spell of proximity, acutely aware of the faint smell of citrus on Wes's fur, and underneath it, the smell of him. Your mind races down 100 different paths, at least a quarter of which involve waking up next to him, legs tangled together in sheets, and your face buried in his chest. Another half sends the blood from your brain straight to your dick. You really feel him. You really hope he doesn't bump against you or you south of your waist. Hey. As though reading your mind, Wes breathes in suddenly, right against your face, his nose practically touching yours. All you can see is the glint of his eyes in the darkness, but you can't smell him all around you. Feel his hand gently raised from your hips. You're sure he can hear your heart pounding in your chest. Your throat goes dry in anticipation. Hey, you lean in to touch You lean into his touch as your hand grabs his bicep for balance. He's solid and unshakable, barely wavering under your weight. Wes cranes his head forward, his lips hovering by yours. Then he closes the distance, kissing you. Your eyes flutter closed as you feel the rasp of his tongue against your parted mouth. Wes rumbles low with pleasure as his weight pushes you against the wall of his hip. Fuck. There's no stopping the way your breath hitches when his hands roam to the south of your back. When he grazes against your half-hard cock with his own, just enough to tease, you're sure feel a circuit fry in your brain. Fuck. Does he do this a lot? Make out with guys in closets. What happens to them afterwards? You think back to Sky Baskia, which is not really the image you want in your head right now, but his haughty face comes to mind anyway. What was his deal? Did they make out down here in the guest room? But then Wes's hands are on your ass, squeezing, and a renewed sense of urgency washes over you as you hook your fingers into his belt loop and pull him close. Fuck, you're hard. Wes raps against your mouth with a chuckle. It's your fault. You can barely mumble out the accusation before he silences you with his tongue. Despite the intensity of the moment, there's a fragility in this tight space that makes your heart race with an equal measure of arousal and anxiety. You feel like the spell between you might break at any moment, and you'll wake up at home in wet briefs and nothing to look forward to. It's your first kiss together, and you're already fearful it'll be your last. You pull Wes in closer, and desperately trying to get friction between your trapped cocks. Wes hisses with pleasure as you roll your hips together, and you practically slam yourselves against the wall as your foot stumbles back and something is knocked over in the cabinet, the sound thunderous in the cramped space. You both freeze, neither of you daring to breathe. The moment is lost. Only silence greets you as Wes slowly pulls away and, after a moment, tentatively pushes the cabinet door open. He stares at you for a moment. You wonder if you look as wild as he does. The fur on his head must, and his face flushed with desire. Wes finally looks away. It's a bottle. What? He picks up the object by your feet, but that you knocked over. It's a bottle, almost empty. Gotta be the wine Lord Baskia drank last night. You nod, your facilities slowly coming back to you. Faculties? Your faculties, not facilities. What? The blood leaves your dick and thankfully starts traveling back to your brain. You need all the brain cells you can get. We should go. After regrouping with and filling in the rest of your party, you agree that it's time to catch your breaths. Cedric informs the group that the closest tavern is by the docks, leading the four of you towards the western edge of of town. The sun is setting as you arrive, the purple sky in orange against the saltwater bay. The ships are stuck, just like the people, landlocked by orders that no one leaves until the mystery of the Lord Baskin's illness is solved. Ah, the smell of burgeoning. What is this word? Burgeoning. Burgeoning? Burgeoning? Is that what this word is? Burgeoning merchant capitalism. Our little babies are growing up. I'm going to get a room. Cedric is the first to hobble through the tavern door, clutching his side. The door closes behind him. You, Wes, and Luke look to each other. Wes shrugs by lifting his shoulders slightly. Luke shrugs by raising his shoulders, hands, and eyebrows all together, mumbling, I don't know. It's been a long day, and you're looking forward to finally resting your aching feet. Your whole body feels sore after your excursion today. See you inside. All things considered, you've adjusted pretty quick to life out here. You might be tired, aching, and you keep finding leaves in your fur, but it feels good to have a purpose. Inside, Cedric is already exchanging coins with the innkeeper. He's about to head up the stairs when a familiar face flags you down. Over here, boys. Remus is seated in a corner booth. A rolled up piece of parchment is in the seat next to him. He waves at a nearby waitress to order more drinks for the table as you approach.
How fares your mission? Mine has gone terribly. Apparently the Void took out a chunk of the frozen peaks this year, completely altering the usual water patterns of the river. Not that it would have mattered, since they apparently built a bridge without my knowledge. Even though there's no bridge on the map.
The three companions nod. Lig does it sagely, like he's understood everything, and Cedric goes and does it out of habit. Wes just nods once, politely.
What about your task? How goes the investigation of Lord Bosca's murder?
Well, we know that it's not a murder yet. Someone just tried to kill him. We don't know, we don't know that yet.
How did he die?
Poison, most likely. We found this in a cellar. He produced the plant and sets them on the table. Remus's eyes widen slightly as he picks up one and examines it gingerly between two fingers.
Ah, hemlock. Yes, that would be pretty deadly. Who do you suspect did this?
Himself? His son? Does it matter? I think it's the son. He seems, I don't know. A man I'd suspect, I guess. His son, Sky, didn't seem too concerned about his death.
Ah, a classic case of
patricide?
What drove him to do it? Revenge? Greed? Tired of living under his shadow?
Well, the Boskins are a rich family. It doesn't seem like Sky liked him very much, and he'd probably inherit a lot of wealth if his father died. Remus nods approvingly.
Good. Anyone else?
Himself? It might even be Lord Boskin himself. His son told us that he was drinking hemlock every night. Perhaps a sort of heir of the dog? Hair of the dog, yeah. Apparently, he thought it would make him stronger.
An odd family. Could anyone else be responsible?
The rival family? It could be the Remorants, a rival merchant family. They were there the night of the coma. Plus, they'd have something to gain by eliminating the competition.
A strong contender. Anyone else?
That's all. No, that's it.
I see. A very good job, Chiron.
You can't help but smile a little at the praise. Also, we found this along with the hemlock. You placed the two bottles on the table and opened one from the cabinet, and another one still sealed. Remus scratches his chin as he picks up both bottles, popping off their stoppers one after another. He alternates the two between his nose, passing them back and forth. Finally, he raises the already open bottle.
This one is poisoned.
How?
I consider myself a connoisseur of both wine and botany. Thank you very much. Was someone poisoned? Someone poisoned him last night. Has been poisoned, more accurately, because this one...
He raises the unopened bottle of wine.
Has hemlock in it as well.
So, he's been drinking poison for several days, maybe even longer, but it's only now getting to him? Cedric, after sitting quietly in his seat this whole time, finally speaks up.
Maybe it built up over time. He could tolerate it. Until he couldn't. It's the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe. But a glass of this stuff would kill most men handedly.
Remus purses his lips, staring at his reflection in the dark bottle, as Cedric slumps back in his seat.
Is there anyone else who could have done this? Who would want Lord Boscus to die?
You wreck your brain. His wife wouldn't have much to gain. Wasn't there someone else you saw? There was Lord Bosca's daughter, Electra. She was in an arranged marriage she didn't seem to be too happy about. She has a friend, Alizarn, a Remerant girl. Excuse me. Lord Remanent, told us they were close. I am hiccuping. I am coughing. That's fine. Maybe she convinced her to betray her father.
This girl, short, red hair, a pink dress.
Yes, do you know her? Remus points out the window of the tavern towards the docks. Though it's through its frame, you spy a young woman that matches the description, bearing a striking resemblance to her mother. Alzarin glares around the area and furtively pulls her cloak closer around her shoulders. You scoot out of your seat, not letting your eyes leave her for a second. We have to talk to her. You dash out of the tavern and into the street. The sun is setting now, leaving behind a trail of pink as the sky fades into lavender, then indigo. Alizarn! She bolts when she spies you coming after her, but you're just fast enough to grab her arm. A week of training has allowed you to outpace a housebound noble in a dress. Great! Oh, okay. She does have a portrait. I was wondering. Let go of me. Alzarn, we need to talk. It's about Lord Bosca. Unhand me, stranger. She punches you with her free hand, hard, and your head spins with pain. She must be wearing jewelry under those gloves because something hard and sharp connects with your jaw. Your grip loosens just enough for her to wrench her arm free. She's already bolting when you manage to choke out. Electra, you're trying to help. You're trying to help her. If you're not right about this hunch. The sound of heels clacking down the dock slow until it comes to a stop. What? What do you know about us? Wes and Luke jog up to the two of you now, watching the scene before them warily. She's breathing heavily as she stares you down, dark circles are drooping under her eyes. She looks like she's not in the mood to be jerked around. I don't know anything, but I know you wouldn't want Electra to be found guilty of her father's murder. A fire lights behind her eyes as she looks like she's about to murder you. Electra's innocent. I was with her the whole night. She couldn't have poisoned him. What were you doing? You swear she blushes under her red cheeks. Nothing. What about her marriage? What about her arranged marriage then? I heard she wasn't happy about that. She wasn't. She would be happy with. Why would she be happy about that? Wes shuffles his feet and stares at the wooden beams at the docks. Yeah, marriage sucks, we know. Alizarin blinks a few times in surprise. Marriage doesn't suck. It's important. That's why it should be between two people who love each other. Both Wes and Luke frown at that. I'm just tired of our families trying to control every aspect of our lives. There's a difference between being controlled and having a responsibility. I know the difference. That's why I was trying to help her. Because you think that's, there's some sort of real love out there for her? I know there is. Alzarin snaps so fast that even Luke takes a step back, surprised by her outburst. Listen, I was trying to help Electra flee the city last night. Why would she murder her father if she was already leaving? Not only that, our ship was grounded because of that lockdown the city went into after he was found comatose. It was, it would have been counterproductive to draw attention to that night. Our ship. Alzaren's lips disappear into a tight grimace, but she doesn't correct herself. I've told you everything you need to know. It wasn't Electra. Now, I'm going to find a boat that's willing to risk being fired on the sake of for a sack of gold, and Electra and I are going to leave this godforsaken city. Are you going to try and stop us? She stares at you expectantly. She looks like she hasn't slept in days, but under the layers of immediate exhaustion is a much more long-lasting one. She's unhappy in her current life. You've seen that look before, most notably in your very own mirror. The ship is out but this ship out is her Peregrine. Okay. A chance for a life better than the one she's leaving behind. Wes's thoughts. There we go. Wes, what do you think? He shakes his head and shrugs in resignation.
Life is short. She should be free to do what she wants. Maybe she's running away from her problems, but once she's gone, they won't be hers anymore. She should follow her heart.
He sounds like he's trying to convince himself what he's saying, unsuccessfully. Alright, I'm going to end the part here, everyone, so I'll see you guys around.